Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, folks. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and we are here in Alpharetta, not in our normal home inside Renaissance Bank on Windward Parkway, but we're looking forward to the day when we can get back there. In the meantime, if you have a need for more personal service for your business, well, Renaissance is a good place to go. I know that personally because I deal with them myself, and I've got clients that deal with them, and they actually have bankers there that answer the phone with like real voices, and they've got real people there. And isn't that a nice thing in the automated world we live in, particularly when it comes to banking? So if that's what you're looking for your small business, go to renaissancebank.com, find your local office. They've got 200 across the South waiting and ready to serve you. Call them, make an appointment, and go see them. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Sheryl LaPlace, and Sheryl is with Insperity. Sheryl, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here with you.
Well, thank you. So tell folks a little bit about you and tell folks about Insperity. How are you serving the market out there?
Thank you. I am an HR specialist, and I work alongside other people on my team to serve clients that are generally small to mid-sized companies. And we currently provide professional employee organization services to over 100,000 businesses, really touching over 2 million employees across the U.S. And what we do as a professional employee organization is to allow companies to focus on their business. We take the employment law compliance, the payroll burdens, the employer tax filings, benefits management, claim resolutions, and a host of other things off their plate so that business owners can focus on their business, on growing and prospering their businesses.
Now, you mentioned professional employment organization, also known as PEO, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the affectionate term, PEO.
Right. That's for people like me that can't say all those three big long words. But talk about why a PEO and what the value of a PEO is for a business. Okay.
So Insperity is the originator of that PEO model, and we've been doing it for over 34 years. What we do is set up what we call a coemployment relationship so that the business, Insperity, and the employee have that employment relationship. We take the administrative burden for most of the HR functions off the plates of business owners so that they can focus on, again, growing and prospering their businesses. In my role as an HR specialist, for example, I work with clients to ensure that they have the right policies or handbooks in place, to ensure that they are properly handling employee relation issues to mitigate risks, basically to keep them out of court. I do liability management training. I help them with harassment and discrimination prevention, preparing supervisors and managers for their supervisory role and giving feedback to employees. But I work alongside a team of folks who love doing what they do. So we have specialists in every imaginable area. If there's a workers' comp issue, we have a team of workers' comp experts that love doing workers' comp. If it's unemployment, we have an unemployment team that helps with unemployment issues and so forth. But in my role, I get to learn the culture of a company, be able to assess the climate, and help them with their specific HR strategy so that they're able to grow and prosper that business.
Now, you mentioned a few things there that are easy to say, harder to deal with in reality, like a workers' comp claim or like making sure that all your payroll taxes are paid. I mean, you're dealing with some really nitty-gritty issues that most business owners do not want to deal with.
Yes. And usually when we hear from a small or medium-sized company, it's when they start to feel those pains, the pain points of either risk management or dealing with some government compliance, or they're having trouble competing with large companies to attract and retain talent. So by becoming a part of the PEO model, you're able to offer big company benefits as a small company. We are able to help you with competing with medical and dental and vision insurance, providing 401k plans, disability insurance, and then even things like education assistance or adoption assistance, things that larger companies are able to provide and remain competitive. It helps a small company to be able to compete with those larger companies for talent.
And I think some businesses assume that because there's right now we're in a COVID-19 environment where unemployment is higher. I think maybe some businesses assume that maybe it's easier to find people, but depending on what business you're in, what industry you're in, it's still just as difficult, right? And so having the kinds of big company benefits that you're talking about could be the difference between getting the person you want and the one that you miss out on.
It often is. And even during thriving times, big companies are recruiting the best talent that they possibly can. So if you have really good folks, you want to be able to keep them on board by providing those benefits. Benefits is right up there along with pay rate in terms of what employees consider in taking a job or switching jobs. So we're able to help with even recruiting for companies that need that service.
Folks, we're here with Sheryl LaPlace, and she is a senior human resource specialist with Insperity. So let's talk a little bit about the role of a third-party advisor, a trusted third-party advisor that you bring to the table for a company. Talk about how important that is.
Okay, well, thanks for asking that. One of the concerns small businesses have with even embracing the PEO model is that they often feel like they may have to give up control or the decision-making ability as being an owner. But nothing could be further from the truth. We are here to provide guidance. When new laws are being considered, we keep our finger on the pulse of those changes so that we are ahead of it. When it came to the coronavirus response, for example, and the PPP, we were able to provide reports and support services to our clients to help them through that process. So we don't take over a business. We give guidance. We provide resources. We walk hand in hand with them through those difficult decisions during a time like a pandemic or other even natural disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes. We provide services to help our clients through that, whether it's through our employee assistance program or other resources that we make available. So businesses don't have to give up control of the decision making, but they have a trusted partner to help them navigate through the difficult times. We have resources readily available, and then you have someone that you work with hand in hand to help make the decisions that are tough, that might keep a business owner up at night otherwise.
Now, you mentioned, having that partner that's there kind of hand in hand. One of the terms you mentioned was coemployment. And for those that don't know what the PEO model is, that's probably a new term. Why don't you describe that, what that means for me as a business owner or the company I run? Okay.
To make it really plain, it's called we have skin in the game. So when we give guidance on an issue, you can trust that the guidance is the best possible because we are liable to some degree along with that business owner. So where some other companies may offer similar services to what Insperity offers, they may not share in the risk and the liability involved in some of those decisions. So there may be a more cavalier approach to the guidance that may be given, whether it's followed, whether there's understanding of the why behind the guidance being given. So we have skin in the game. We make sure that the guidance that's being provided is based on the most up-to-date knowledge. We are using the most current technology to help deliver services. We are as involved as a company wants us to be, but we're certainly in it with them all the way.
So let's get into the specifics of that, though. I mean, let's say I, as a business owner, I'm looking to terminate an employee. Maybe I've got a workers' comp claim. I mean, I'm trying to think of those issues where, there's some potential big legal liability for me. You guide me through what I need to do to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, to use a cliche.
Absolutely. So some clients have an HR person on hand, and they use us more as a resource to make sure they stay abreast of all the changes, have the most up-to-date information, and some of them for the medical and the payroll services that we provide. But there are some clients, especially the smaller ones, who have no HR experience. They're really trying to build their widgets or whatever their service or business is, and they kind of have to just follow the laws, right? They're still required to be compliant, and it's not an area that they're comfortable with or even have interest in. So by having an Insperity partner, you have people who do that for a living. This is what we do. So I do HR. I have teammates that do payroll or medical management. We have people that specialize. They love what they do, and you get the best of each area of expertise. So a client may have a particular issue. You mentioned, let's say an employee relation issue, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. By having that conversation up front about what those issues are, they're able to get the best guidance to make sure that we mitigate risks, that the best possible outcome is had at the end of that tunnel.
And the stakes on this are high. So, I've heard some harrowing numbers